Morning. On behalf of the Hornets organization, I'm thrilled to welcome Dwight Howard and his family to Charlotte. Two of the needs we were looking to address this offseason were rim protection and our overall depth. With Dwight, we feel like we've been able to address both those needs. He's a proven all-star with a number of good years left in him, and we're thrilled to welcome him to the Hornets family. Dwight?
First, I'm very thankful for this opportunity to be here in Charlotte. Me and Cliff, we go way back since when I went to Orlando. So I'm very thankful that, he gave me this opportunity. And I'm looking forward to being here in Charlotte. I think it's going to be a great place for me personally to hopefully finish my career here in this wonderful city. I've seen this place grow since I've been in the NBA, and I'm looking forward to just being the best I can be for this city, for this team, and for this organization. So thank you for welcoming me, everybody. I've received tons of messages on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, so I'm extremely thankful and blessed to continue my career in this city. Been talking to Mike a lot, and he's brought so much joy to me in just a couple of days that I'm just looking forward to playing. And again, thank you.
We'll open it up for questions now.
Dwight, what are you looking most forward to reuniting with Cliff for, and what are your expectations of being back with Cliff?
We've been talking already. Every day is just the past and how we did and how we accomplished a lot of different things and on the offense and defense, and just getting back to playing the style of basketball that I like, and that what he's been doing with this team here. They're built on defense, and if you go into the practice facility and stuff like that, you can see the defensive rules and goals and stuff like that. And he's big on having the team set goals and reaching those goals, and that's one thing that we've been doing our whole life, setting goals for ourselves and for our team. And I'm just looking forward to it. Whatever he needs me to do, I'll try to do it.
Dwight, what was your reaction to being traded? I know a couple minutes prior you had been asking fans on social media for their NBA trade proposals. Was it something that was on your radar before it happened?
No, actually, I was in the gym. I had just put on my shoes to get ready to train, and my agent called, and he said there might be a trade today. And I was like, oh, really? And I hung up the phone, and he called back and said, you've been traded. And I was just in shock that it happened so fast, but at the same time, I wasn't upset or anything. Got a great workout in, and after that workout, Mike called, and I was about to go back in the gym, but it was closed. But I was excited to have this opportunity. So it's no hard feelings. I had a great time in Atlanta. I'm going to miss some of those guys on the team. Miss playing at home, but I think that this is a great opportunity, and I'm going to take full advantage of it.
Because of your connection to Coach Clifford, it seemed like around here every year on trade deadline, end of the season, your name was linked to trades here. Did you think that was ever a possibility, or when you say you were surprised by that? I mean, obviously.
I was just surprised that the trade happened. I wasn't expecting it to happen so fast, but. I've always, liked this team. Kemba, I think he's a great player. I know Marvin, who just stepped in. He actually dunked on me back in high school. I don't know if you remember that. But I've been knowing Marvin for a long time, and I think I think this team has some great players, and I was just looking forward, to this opportunity. And Cliff, we were together in Orlando, we were together in LA, so we do have a lot of history, and he really understands me, so I'm happy to have a coach like him.
Dwight, over here. You mentioned the style of basketball, getting back to the style you like to play, so how would you describe that style?
Team ball, great defense where everybody is talking and communicating and trusting each other, and just enjoying the game. I think that's very important when you're out there playing. I take this game very serious, but I want to have fun while I do it. You only get one chance to do this thing right, and why not have fun? Is that Dr. Phil?
That's Dr.
My
Phil in
God.
the house today. Been a while here. You've had a chance to play for a lot of teams in recent years. What did you learn from that experience you think will help you in making the transition to Charlotte now?
Basketball has afforded me the opportunity to travel and, do some of the things that, people dream about. And every team that I play for, everything that I've learned has really helped me in this moment today. And they're all lessons. I don't take any of the years that people would consider bad. I don't consider that bad for myself. I think it was all a learning lesson to get me to this moment today. So I'm very thankful just to have this opportunity. A lot of people have written me off, which is great, because it's going to make me work even harder. And, I'm just looking forward to this opportunity because, I got a lot left in the tank, and I'm going to give this city, everything that I have, give my teammates, everything that I have. And, you learn so much over the years in playing this game. You just want to make sure that, those guys in the locker room, that, they understand that, I want the best for them. I want the best for this team, and I'm going to do whatever I can.
Dwight, went through one of these almost a year ago.
Press conference.
Yeah, in a very different setting. What are and it's a two-part question here, but first, what are the differing emotions this time around from what that big press conference was?
Well, going home, having a press conference at the gym that, I actually worked out in and practiced in as a child to get ready to try to make it to the NBA. That was very emotional. Seeing all my friends and stuff like that, that was emotional. And, that opportunity was great. It was, like I said, it's a learning lesson. Just being at home and playing in front of your friends and family on a daily basis. And I think it's just gotten me ready for this moment right here. I think this is going to be, it's going to be great. I have so much faith in Coach and in my teammates, and I think we're going to have an unbelievable season.
And lastly, have you had a chance to actually process about why it didn't work out to your expectations in Atlanta?
Timing is everything. Sometimes things don't work the way we want it to work, and you got to move forward. I don't think it's good to just keep looking behind and saying, why didn't this work and why didn't that work? Just keep pushing, just keep looking forward. You can't reach your destination looking backwards. Probably you can get a couple steps, but if you keep looking back, you'll never reach where you're trying to get to. So, I'm not looking back. I love Atlanta. I'm always love Atlanta. My family's there. But, this is the destination, and I'm going to make the best of it.
You mentioned the lessons that you've learned over the last couple of stops that you've had in the NBA. What are some of those lessons, and how can you learn from them and make it different here in Charlotte?
Just, one, using my voice. I think over the years, a lot of things have been said, and I've always just not said anything back. Just allowed, things that weren't true to just keep stirring up. And that gave a lot of people opinions about who I was as a person and a player. And, I should be the one speaking up for myself instead of allowing other people to do that. So that was probably the biggest lesson that I would say that I had to learn.
Dwight, over here to your left. You almost got here in 2004 in the draft. But,
just talking about that in the car. Go ahead.
Ended up, does this fulfill like a bucket list thing for you now, or do you have anything to make up for the, Mecca getting Rookie of the Year that year?
Well, I was explaining to my friends in the car and my family. Charlotte had I think it was number 2 pick that year, and I thought Charlotte was great back then. But I told them I wanted to be the number 1 pick. That was my dream and that was my goal, and I wasn't going to stop till that happened. And there was they didn't say anything bad about it. They said, well, okay, we'll see you in a couple years. And I'm here now, so I guess they was right.
Dwight, right here. First off, was the suit in your closet? It has a little teal flavor to it, or did you get it made?
This was actually in my closet.
All right.
It was in my closet, and it's funny you said that. The other day, I was about to work out, and I have some shoes that are the colors of the team, and I had these last year, which is just crazy. They was just sitting in my house, and everybody was like, "Wow, you got the shoes already?" And I was in shock that this is here. So this is I'm filled with joy. I'm looking forward to getting out in the community and trying to do what I can to help kids get to this level, but also to just be around my teammates and just enjoy them. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, it looks good, but follow-up question to that. Several times you've mentioned your faith in Coach Cliff. Can you expand upon that a little bit? Is it a trust factor that you have with him, whereas with some coaches maybe it's not there? Because it seems like Coach Cliff has mentioned several times over the last 3 days how much faith he has in you. Can you expand what that faith means when you talk about it?
I just think he understands me. He's been around me for a long time. We were in Orlando together through the good times and bad times, and he saw back then what type of person I am and what type of player I am. And even when we were in LA together, he understood the situation, and he was always there for me. And not once did he ever turn his back on me. Not once did he ever talk bad about me. He was very positive, and he was somebody that I trusted in. And it's just crazy. When he got the job in Charlotte a couple years ago, I was super excited for him because I saw how hard he worked, and he's very humble in his approach. He was the assistant coach to a great coach in Stan Van Gundy, and he always did his job. And he did it the right way, and he was blessed for it. And so I'm super happy for him and thankful that we're back together.
Dwight, you touched on how much Charlotte has changed and literally you can. I'm sure you saw it on the drive-in. There's
Oh no,
construction.
I've seen it back when we first came in the league. We were staying about 25 minutes away from here in this super old hotel, and when the Ritz was finished, I was so excited to stay downtown for one, but to stay at a beautiful hotel and just to see all the things that have happened around Charlotte has been amazing. And like I said, I'm super excited about that, and also the fact that there's two Supermen here in in Charlotte, and Cam Newton and myself. So, that'd be great to reconnect with him.
Dwight, are you okay with sharing that Superman persona with someone else?
Oh man, listen. Me and Cam are from the same place in Atlanta, so I'm just happy to be a part. The city that he's. I watched him do a lot of great things here in this city, and I'm looking forward to connecting with him, and it's going to be great.
Dwight, at the beginning of the press conference, you said, "I'd like to finish my career here." You're 31. You played 13 years. I mean, do you have an idea how much longer you would like to play?
I want to play until my body is like, you need to lay down. So I don't want to stop. I love this game. I think that I'm a lot healthier than I've been in the past, 5 years. And I think this is going to be my best time. A lot of people have always talked about the past, but I think I'm a lot wiser now, stronger, mentally and physically, and I'm in the right place. With a great coach, great GM, and the GOAT. So I think this is a perfect opportunity.
Dwight, here in the back. A few minutes ago, you mentioned getting out into the Charlotte community. I know that giving back has been really important to you, and you were just recently honored in your hometown of Atlanta. I think many people may not know that you sort of said that what you do away from the basketball court to you is more important than what you do on it. Why is that?
Basketball doesn't last forever. At some point, we're all going to have to hang up the shoes, and the ball is going to stop bouncing. But the kids' lives, is something that we want to impact, forever. We could change people's lives and stuff like that. To me, that's always better than playing basketball. Now, I love this game. I don't want people to get that twisted. I love this game. I love playing. But to see a smile on a kid's face, even adults, just to see people smiling and enjoying their lives, is people who go through so much on a daily basis, and that we've been afforded the opportunity to live the life that we live. Why not try to impact other people? And like I said, basketball doesn't last forever, but impacting lives and, making sure, we do what's right for the community, that's something that's going to leave a legacy way after we leave this earth, So I would love 200 years from now, when all of us will probably be gone, most likely, somebody saying, man, these people really changed society, and I want to be a part of that change. So that's why I love giving back.
When you mentioned your connection to Cam, when did you guys first meet? And you have a joke about the Superman stuff?
He's a little bit younger than me, so I really didn't, growing up, I didn't see him. But I would love to, really just connect with him. I've met him a couple times and stuff like that. But I know he does a lot in the community here, and we kind of have that same attitude. We love to win, but we want to have fun, and we both hate losing. I've seen a couple of his interviews where he was really upset about losing, and we both have that same fire and drive where on the court, on the field, we're going to give everything we got, and in the community, we're going to give even more. So I would love to just be around him and, us learning from each other.
Coach Clifford, what, from your perspective, what has been your secret, I guess, to building this relationship with Dwight, and what are the ways that you've found that you've gotten the most out of Dwight?
Well, I think what we've always been able to do is just communicate honestly and transparently with each other. In Orlando, in terms of like most teams, assistants are basically assigned certain players. And, Patrick worked more with Dwight, but I worked a lot with the four men. And so in our ways to get him the ball, there's a, correlation between those spots more than the other spots. So, we used to talk a lot about that. And then, 5 years, we played in a lot of big games. We went to the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. So, I've seen him in the toughest of spots. And the one thing that I'd like to add to this is there's a misconception about why he's had the career that he's had. And I think everybody views him as, that he's been dominant as an athlete, which is part of it if you look at it for most great players, okay? But the thing that has set him apart is his intelligence. And I've been around, every place I've been, we've been really good defensively. We're smart guys, starting from New York to Houston to Orlando and then to here. And he is as bright with coverages, knowing personnel, having technique as any player I've ever been around. And, that, as he's gotten older, has continued. I've watched a lot of film here. So I think that, he plays very much, people don't realize, he plays a thinking man's game. I mean, he helps his teammates in many more ways than just being quick to block a shot. And, older players who play with intelligence, that's how you win in this league. And so there are a lot of reasons why I'm glad he's here, but smart always wins in the NBA. And I think very few people realize, his teammates do, the guys he's played with do. I know he's been talking to our guys. I could share with him many of the texts I got from guys in Orlando, talking about him coming here and how much they valued that part of his game that very few people realize he's exceptional at.
Question for Dwight and Coach Clifford. Coach, you mentioned when the trade first happened about the lineups necessarily with Zeller and Dwight on the floor at the same time, and I realize it's still developing and the roster is currently constructed could quickly change. But have you guys had any discussions in terms of role within the rotation, playing on-off with Cody, or how that might work?
Well, what I said that day was that there would be situations where they could play together. I was thinking more, those are matchup oriented. So Oklahoma City, Cantor at the 4, we could play bigger. San Antonio, Gasol, Aldrich, things like that. So those are more, I think, dictated by matchups than anything else.
This is for Dwight and Coach. Dwight, just having two guys here on this team in the backcourt that can both kind of handle the ball and play with and without. I don't know if you've ever played with a backcourt like that in your career in the NBA, but what does that do for your game in the pick and roll with Kemba and Nick both being able to handle the ball and both play off of it too?
Well, it's kind of similar to two guys that I had in Orlando. You got Kemba, who's more so like a skip to my Lou, I think with a little bit of jump shot. So, I think Kemba's great, especially in the pick and roll. I watched him a lot and had to cover him in the recent years. And, he's a tough cover coming off that pick and roll. And I just remember, playing against Charlotte last year, how tough it was to get up on a pick and roll with him. Then he makes that pass to the big rolling down the lane, and you got shooters all around, so that Zeller was getting, I think that game he had like 20, like 17 in the first half, all just pocket passes from Kemba and then from Nick. And Nick kind of reminds me of like a Hito Turkoglu, with his ability to shoot the ball. He's tall, he plays good defense, and in the pick and roll, he's really good, at making those pocket passes. And, he's a big threat, coming off those screens because he is tall enough where he can see to where to make the passes to, but also he can make shots. And, so it's going to be great playing with those guys, especially those two because, they are great in finding people in the open court.
Dwight, I think it was on ESPN a couple of months ago, you said that you were going to be working on your three-pointer this offseason. Now, how many threes do you think you're going to shoot for the Hornets?
I have no clue. That statement got, I said it and everybody took it as I'm going to come back and try to be Reggie Miller. That's not what I, intended, but, I understand in order for me to play as long as I want to play, I have to be able to expand my game. And that's not just shooting threes, but, just playing with confidence, and that's one thing that I've been talking to Mike a lot about is just playing with a lot of confidence and, how he was able to overcome the fear of missing because that's something that, it has been an issue in the past is I get in practice and make threes, jump shots, whatever you call it. But I didn't want to miss in the game, so that's the reason why I said I was working on those threes is just to really just build the confidence up to shooting shots anywhere on the floor. But I don't plan on stepping out and shooting 100 threes this year. But if I do, I hope you guys cheer for me.
Dwight, Steve mentioned the other day that you are a pick and roll player, and in your exit interview in Atlanta, you seemed miffed at this perception that maybe you weren't as willing to play in the pick and roll. What do you think are some misconceptions about your
I
offensive
just,
game?
like I said, people have always, said stuff about me that's not true. If you go back to my time in Orlando, we started the offense, after we sprinted down the floor. The first option was obviously the post, but, later on in the game, we were running a lot of pick and rolls that ended up in the post-ups. So it wasn't like I didn't want to set screens. I think people just use that excuse to have something negative to say. But pick and roll was something that, as Cliff knows, we did a ton of pick and rolls, 3-5 pick and rolls, the pick and rolls with the point guards. That was something that we used to set up our offense, because I'm setting a screen and I'm rolling hard to the basket. That's going to put pressure on the rim, which is going to leave shooters open. And we have some great three-point shooters on this team. So there's the pick and roll is the easiest thing to do on the court to score. So why wouldn't I want to run the pick and roll? I think that was just something that people said.
Dwight here in the back. I know you tweeted on draft night about the Hornets picking Malik Monk. You liked that pick. With Monk and Dwayne Bacon joining this team, what advice will you give? Yeah, Dwayne Wade.
I had to do that. I had to do it.
What advice will you give the two rookies to better help their transition to the NBA?
One, you can't take time for granted. You have to enjoy this time, and I just want to tell those guys to just put everything they can into this game, because you never know what can happen in your future, and enjoy the ride, because it goes by so fast. And I remember being a rookie. I'm 31 now, and I was 18 then. But it just goes by fast. You look up and you're like, man, this is year 6. This is year 7. Wow, this is going by fast. So you have to enjoy it. But when you're on the court, when you're in practice, just go all out, because you're not going to get those moments back. We went to the finals, and we thought after going to the finals once, we was going to be back the next year and the next year after that, because it's like, oh, we know what it takes to get here. But it's hard, so you have to take advantage of those moments that you have, because you never know when you'll get those moments back. So that's what I'll tell those young guys, and, I'll do my best to, just try to show them the ropes. And I just want them to enjoy it. Just enjoy the game.
This question's for Dwight. How soon do you plan on getting into Charlotte and kind of working with these other guys and your new teammates?
It happened so fast. We just started looking, for places to live. I talked to Marvin, and he said that a lot of the guys were here in the gym, already working, and I don't want to miss that opportunity. So once, my schedule kind of dies down, I'll be here with the guys.
The fans of Charlotte love basketball. What do you say to the fans about Dwight Howard coming to town?
Oh, man. Every time I look at you, I just see Dr. Phil. I'm sorry. You know it. And you got the picture. I know. We go way back. I call him Dr. Phil since I met him. He's always been great. But, man, I'm just excited, to be here in Charlotte. The fans have reached out. A lot of fans have reached out on Twitter, Instagram, and I appreciate, all the love and support. A lot of times, because of social media, there's a lot of negativity. And the fans here have been positive. And coming here and playing against this team, I've always had fun with the fans here. We've always had a good time together. And now I'm going to be here. And I'm looking forward to this opportunity. So, Charlotte, thank you for having me here. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give this city every ounce that I have of blood, sweat, and tears. And hopefully something great comes out of it.
Any other questions? Thanks. With that, we'll end this, and if the folks here could sit down, remain seated, we're going to do a quick photo op with the jersey here in front. Thanks.